Okay, so we aren't going to do these just yet because these are something we're going to cover a little bit later. We're just trying to get everything set up in its most basic form. Okay, so what is next? Okay, I will have you go into your chart of accounts. Okay, and the first things first, I'm going to just have you, this is the chart of accounts. It's where everything kind of gets set up for your accounting. And we're going to start with an asset, okay? And I want you to sort by the reference number, okay? Because this is the way that they're going to line up on your financial statement. So that you want to have this set up by somebody that's well versed in the way things flow on a financial statement, or stick to the very basics. Don't go in here and start adding arbitrarily adding all these different accounts. I wouldn't recommend that. That's not what I teach, and that's not how I do things. Okay, so I'm going to just break these down. I didn't do this in the video before, but I am going to break it down. You know, you're going to want to set up, if you're a new company, you're going to want to make sure that you set up your cash account here. Again, I'm not adding a bunch of accounts. If you have more than one account, I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. But here, I'm going to name this whatever the account is, and I will show you my naming conventions are basically, I always go with the banking institution because that lets me know who we're paying and, you know, who it's going through. So I like, for this, I'm going to just say Chase, okay? I always start with the, you know, the bank or the banking institution. The next three-letter code I'm going to use would be the kind of account it is. So if it's a checking, I would put CKG. If it's a savings, I will put SAV. If it's a money market, I would put money market. I don't know whatever else you might have, but those are usually the basics. So in this case, I'm just going to put checking, and let's just say 111, okay? And I'll show you how to use or set up another account, okay? So what we're asking is, you know, we're leaving it. We're basically just overriding an original account that was set up. It's a standard account. It's less likely to have mistakes. I know people want to come in here and just set up all kinds of things. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I take troubleshoot calls, so I take a lot of people that try to set it up and then run into issues or things don't flow right. Okay, so now I have my account. Okay, before you start, I know that I have another account to set up because I have a savings account, but I want to look at the accounts before I just start setting things up. Okay, like I said. So in through here, I recommend not using undeposited funds. If you are using them, you leave it there. If you're not, go ahead and make it inactive. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to make it inactive, and I'm going to save. Okay, you can see it always gives me that confirmation. If you have a petty cash account, okay, that you reconcile, okay, it's not just cash that you carry randomly. This is a set amount. Usually it's like a cash box or something in the office, or if you have somebody that does carry around a manual cash box as well, or a cash envelope of some sort, that also gets reconciled. Okay, I have a video that I will create on how to properly manage and work with that. So if you have that, go ahead and leave it. You can rename it to whatever you want it to be, or petty cash and whoever has it. But if you don't, I'm going to go ahead and make this inactive. Save. Okay. See how we're now kind of just narrowing this down to what we have. Okay. Whether you have an accounts receivable or not, you're going to leave that alone. Whether you have an inventory or not, you're going to leave that alone. Okay, we're going to tweak these later on, but you just kind of need to know where things are first. Okay. I say take the setup slowly because this is where the most mistakes occur. One, usually because they just let anybody set it up, or they set it up using the videos and maybe just don't don't have a good understanding of maybe what certain things are. I'm going to break them out, and if it's ever unclear, you can ask. Okay, so AR, inventory, and vendor deposits. Those are kind of non-negotiables just because of the way the system works. Okay, so you leave those alone even if you think you don't have them. Furniture and equipment, I'm going to leave that alone for now. And suspense. Suspense is like a clearing account. It's a very needed account in terms of accounting, and most people don't know how to use it properly. I will go over that when we get to that. Okay, so this is the basic assets. Okay, so now I said I was going to set up another account. Okay, so I am, and I'm going to click the add new account right here on the blue button. Okay, and I'm going to number it. It was the next number, and I'll show you when I exit. And I'm going to just say Chase Savings, and I'll just say 222. And it's an asset, and it's a cash account, and it's a cash account. It's not a sub account, it's not a department of anything, and I'm going to save. So now you can see that I have my checking and my savings set up. Okay, there's no amounts. That's what we're looking at, and we're going to move on to the next set of GL accounts on a financial statement or in our chart of accounts. Okay, so the next batch we're going to go to liability. Okay, you're going to sort these again by number. Make sure that the lower number is at the top, and we have client deposits, accounts payable, sales tax, prepaid tax, and loan payable. Loan payable is going to be like a loan on the books, either it could be any kind of major loan, but most businesses don't have that starting off. Okay, but if you do, you're going to go ahead and rename this. Okay, if you don't, you can leave it there, or you can make it inactive. Okay, and I'm going to make it inactive. I like to keep things as basic as possible. As I know that I do or don't need things, I think we remove them, and then if we need them in the future, we make them active. Okay, and that's also what I do when I add the sub or contra accounts for a cash basis account. Okay, we'll get into that a little later. So this would be almost done, except for I want to add an Amex. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my Amex account. Okay, so I'm going to add a new account with the blue button, and I'm going to reference 2000 because I know that that's what the number is I want to use, and I'm going to say Amex 5003, and it is a liability. It is a current liability. It's not a sub account, it's not a department, but it is a credit card. It's not a cash account. Okay, that is how I'm going to set up my Amex. If you have another credit card to add to this, you're going to save in new and kind of tick the next number, 2001, and do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to save that. Okay, and now you can see I have an Amex account, and these are standard accounts that go with the system. Leave those there. Okay, and I'm going to move right along to equity. Okay, these are all basic accounts that need to stay there. They need to be there. But I usually add some owner accounts depending on the business. Okay, and in this case, I am going to go ahead and add an owner account. Okay, just one. You can add them as many as you need. So in through here, I'm going to go ahead and go through and click the blue button again, and we're going to add these accounts 3. Okay. And I picked 3,000 because I know that's where it starts. And I'm going to just put capital contribution. Or actually, yeah, I can. Okay, I'll just leave it like that. And it is an equity account. It is an owner's equity account. It's not a sub account of anything, and nothing else gets checked here. Okay, I'm going to save a new because I'm going to also add an owner distribution account. 3001. It's an equity account, and I will call it owner distributions. And let's okay, I'm going to just leave, well, no, it's required. Hold on. Here it goes. So we're going to make, wait, why does it look like that? That shouldn't be, hold on. There it goes, owner's equity. So save. So that's the way it's going to look, okay? So regardless of what kind of business you have, I usually will always add these accounts, and I'll explain whether you actually use them this way or not. I'll explain how we use them. If I had more than one owner in a business, like with 2 or 3 or more owners, I usually will kind of just abbreviate these, and I would probably do it like, depending on how you want to sort them. I usually would opt to pick, cap contribution and then like a name or a distinguishing way to identify whose capital contribution and whose owner distribution, right? If you have more than one owner. But because of the way that I would like to see them, and most CPAs would like to see your financials, I usually might keep, the first or last or whatever naming convention. So like Jones cap cont, Jones distribution, and then like if for the next owner, Smith cap contribution, Smith owner distribution, like, you know what I mean? So that way you want to keep them together because on a financial statement, it kind of matters. I'll explain when we get there. Okay, so you're going to add accounts if you wish for all the owners. I usually wouldn't opt to do many more than this until later. Okay, sometimes we like to add more sub accounts to the owner distribution if you want to track other things. But right now, let's just set up the basics, right? Because there's so many other what ifs in so many other situations. I'm just taking the most basic. We want to kind of get this company going, right? I'm going to look at the income accounts. I always sort by reference number. Me personally, I like to reorganize these alphabetically, not completely alphabetically. I like to go this portion right here to be alphabetical, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to set that up here. Okay, I'm just showing you what there is. I usually leave these as is. I'm not adding, I'm not taking away. If you find that you're not using these cost codes and you're going to use something else, don't change them here. Okay, just leave this because we're going to go back to it. Okay, if these aren't what you're using and you're using something else, do not change these. Okay, because I'm going to show you why it matters in just a moment. Okay, leave those alone. And the same thing with expenses, okay? Because you can see here, these are going to go through cost of sales, okay? And then after that, we have a lot of the overhead expenses. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so these are all the generic, general office expenses and overhead, okay? Sure, you may need more, you may need less, you may need to add, we can rename, but basically these are our starting point. Okay, leave them as is for now, and I'm going to show you why that matters when we get to the sales code. Okay, And I'm going to cut this off here, and we're going to continue on the next video.